Alright guys, welcome back to another episode, Prestige Outdoorsman _101. We got 4 inches of snow, 5 inches of snow in central Wisconsin today. So ice fishing's coming. And I got a big smile on my face because I'm ready.
First big snowfall of the year.
Yeah, we got
November 6th.
November 6th, yep. So we're thinking we'll be able to either ice fish not this weekend, but next weekend, or definitely the week after. So I mean, we're looking at only 2 weeks away ice fishing, and some of you guys are too. So we wanted to do a little video on pretty much the basics of ice fishing. I think we should do what we have, and then we'll do the must-haves if you're gonna ice fish. Because like a starting ice fisherman, you don't want to spend a ton of money, and it's easy to not spend a ton of money. We're gonna get into the basics, and hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Alright guys, so what I'm going to start with, I have a 13 fishing rod here. This is the snitch, so it's very, very sensitive, which will be used for your panfish. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's a very sensitive rod tip. I think this is a 27-inch rod, which is about average for rod size, but this will fish any little jig, any little spoon you want, and like I said, it's primarily for panfish, but it will hold a bass, northern, whatever you get on. So with this reel, this is a free spool reel, and Kyle wants one, I think, pretty bad.
I'll get one, but.
So I mean, this reel, I don't know if you guys can see this on the side here, you push this little button, and pretty much what it does is it lets out your line for you, which I don't even use. When I use this free spool, because the free spool, if you push the button, it can actually backlash in these, which I don't like if the bait's too heavy. So what I do is I just set my drag low, and you can just pull out line by hand and drop that down the hole. And then when you get a fish, obviously if your drag's too loose, I can just hold my finger on the spool, and if it's a big fish, it can run. If it's a small fish, I can just hold my finger and reel it up. So I mean, this is about as convenient as it gets. And this rod is a little more expensive. I think this was around like probably almost $100 for the combo. So you're looking at an expensive rod, but the difference, I mean, as a starting ice fisherman, you're probably looking at a $20 rod.
Well, yeah, because like you go to Walmart or Ace Hardware if you have one around you,
and shop Ace Hardware.
Yep, and like Walmart last year there was a pretty good rod and reel free fall spool for 20, maybe $30.
Yeah.
And
without the button, which you don't need the button because I don't even use it.
And it's not, obviously it's cheaper, but it will easily do the job.
Yeah.
Especially for panfish. I mean, nothing's gonna go wrong with it, so.
Right.
Especially for a starter, I mean.
Yeah, for a $20 rod, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
Really.
Right.
And like Kyle just bought a $20 rod. We don't have it over here. I don't even know where it is.
That's over there.
But he just bought, what was it, like 24 or something?
Yeah.
It's pretty stiff for like panfish, but for a $24 rod, it's actually a decent rod. And I got a couple cheap rods too that I use that I've never had a problem with. But the second setup, so we got the jig on the first setup for panfish. The second setup I use is a slip bobber. So what I'm gonna have on here, I got 4-pound test on here. This is just your normal reel. I don't even know how many bearings this is. This is a pretty cheap reel kinda. But I'm gonna have a slip bobber set up on this with a fathead in the water for crappie or largemouth, whatever I want to catch on this. I'll have that sit in the shack with me the whole time while I'm jigging, and Kyle usually has one set up too.
Yep.
So I mean, that'll give you and you're allowed 3 lines a piece during ice season too. Anywhere in Wisconsin, you're allowed 3 lines a piece. So yeah, I mean, we only got 4 rods going, and then we can even set out a tip up. But that's going to be the second setup I have for ice fishing.
Yeah, and those rods, we just let sit out, just let them sit out, and then we continue jigging, and then obviously when something happens, the bower goes down or whatever, then
Right.
yeah.
I mean, they're very convenient. You'll catch tons of crappie on them.
Yeah.
You just got to have it set up where, usually I set it up, like when we're fishing that flowage off the river, I usually have mine set like 4 feet off the bottom because those crappie aren't going to run directly on the bottom.
The next thing, we got some tip ups. So obviously, for everyone that has not heard of a tip up, you have this line out here. You put a minnow or a fathead or whatever. What do we use?
We shiners.
Shiners, yep. And then we put it down, shiner on here, drop it down whatever depth you want.
And northern, you only have to set that below the ice, maybe a foot, because they'll come up and eat that thing pretty much on the ice. So I mean, you don't have to set this anywhere close to the bottom either for northern or bass or anything, because they all feed up too. So
you put the shiner on. It's really simple. You put the flag down. There's 2 grooves on each side. One's deeper than the other, I think.
yeah, one's a lighter setting.
Yeah, for sensitivity and all that stuff. But
We never use the lighter setting.
no. So obviously, once the fish grabs the shiner, flag goes up, and you'll see it, and then you just run over. You can just grab the tip up and just yank it up, set the hook, or you just grab the line. And I mean, it's
that hand reel.
It's that simple. So
yeah, they're really nice too, because ice fishing is more of a relaxing type of fishing to me.
yeah,
Because you're either sitting in a shack jigging or you're just fishing tip ups. You're always sitting. You're not putting in a lot of effort. So I mean, these, you see a flag go up, you run over to it, and I mean, that's the easiest type of fishing there is, and some of the most fun fishing.
yeah, you just like relax and then wait for something to happen. I mean, it's people don't like it because it's cold, but it's really fun. And last year was my first year ice fishing, and Carson got me into it. And I mean, I'm not a big cold fan, but I don't mind it. And ice fishing was a blast. The first time we went out, we caught a bunch of northerns.
You caught a 29 or something.
Like a 29-inch northern, and so we're ready for this year.
Yeah, and we're, like I said, a couple weeks from now we'll be ready. But that tip up too, we'll run steel leaders for northern, obviously, so they don't break the line as much. And then we'll only have probably like 8-pound, 10-pound test for walleye, fluorocarbon, because they're much more sensitive than northern are. Northern will eat pretty much anything. But I mean, that's probably the easiest type of fishing, and I love doing it.
Yeah.
I'll move on to the tip downs then. So a tip down is it's pretty close to a tip up without a flag. So how you set these up, these have little wing nuts on here, so you can loosen this, and this moves obviously. So you want this set up vertical, just like this, and then you're going to tighten this wing nut until it's pretty tight, and then I got to grab the rod. So then you'll have, and this tip down isn't made for this rod, so it might look a little weird, but you set this rod right in this tip down just like this, okay? So it'll be sitting up kind of like this, and then you'll usually fish these for crappies, have a fat head on it, or even, you could even go with wax worms, but I like using fat heads more. So once you got a bite, this will tip down just like this slowly and go right towards that hole in the ice you drilled with your auger. And then pretty much this is just like a tip up. You set the hook and then you hand line it, because you cannot reel these kind of rods. And I have the cheaper tip downs. I have not invested in an expensive tip down. I don't use them enough. But they have ones out there for actual rods now that you can put in and actually reel, which are very nice, but I don't see myself buying one. But I mean, that's another form of fishing that's very convenient, and it's a lot of fun when you get on a school of crappie.
And with any of the rods, tip ups, tip downs, I mean, with fishing in general, I mean, it's as expensive as you want to make it.
Right.
Like with a rod, a $20 rod can do just as good as a $100 rod. I mean, just like if you're more experienced and you might want that extra sensitivity or whatnot. But for a starter, you don't need anything special to catch
Like
fish.
I started cheap. That's how you have to. You know, once you build up enough money. I'll move on to my buddy heater, which is very, very, very convenient.
Yep.
I think this buddy heater, this runs $80 at Ace right now. So it isn't too bad. And I think the propane tanks are $7 for two.
Yeah,
But they last a whole day.
they're not super expensive.
No.
I mean, but one lasts the whole day and stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, this heater, it throws off a ton of heat. And then these propane tanks, got this little hole on the end. It's just like your average propane tank. You stick it in here, and I don't know if I have any propane in here, but I'll try to get it lit for you guys and show you kind of how it works. So pretty much just the screws in here, get it tight. That'll actually have a groove just for that. And then it's got a pilot light up on top here, as you guys can see. And then you'll pretty much just click that until it starts. And like I said, I highly doubt I have any propane in here. I'm sure I ran it out last year. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. But they're really easy to light, and they're
very helpful and useful.
well, I mean, when you're freezing and having a crappy day,
it's not fun.
there's nothing that makes it better though than having that heater.
So Carson has an ice shack. I own one rod, and I literally bought it the other day. But I use all of Carson's stuff. Very nice of him. But I mean, he has a lot of stuff. But the ice shack is very helpful, just like the heater. It keeps you out of the wind, which is a big thing because, you know, a lot of the days, if it's 20 degrees and there's no wind, it's not bad at all.
Right.
The first day last year, it was like 10 degrees, and we were.
I think it was actually negative with and plus wind.
Yeah, and
so it was way below zero.
We didn't have ice shack or anything because the ice was only 4 inches or whatever, and we weren't cold at all. But what do you have? What kind of ice shack?
I have an Otter Hub ice shack. So like the Hub ice shack, you can get sled ice shacks, and that's pretty much just like this sled I have sitting out here.
We got it. Yep.
That'll have 2 seats in it, or 3 seats, or 4. No matter how, actually I don't think they make a 4-person, maybe they do. But either way, they have seats in there where you can actually sit on a chair. But my hub sled is pretty much open concept. You set it up, you put stakes in the ice pretty much and screw them in. I like it a lot more because there's so much more room. And what's like at our age too, who cares if we sit on a chair?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, we sit on buckets.
Sit on buckets.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. And I can fish 3 people in there, or probably I can fish 4 in there.
Well,
easy.
When Carson and I just go by ourselves, we can drill like 4 holes in there, and like he said before, we can have 2 bobber rods set up and 2 jigging rods.
I think we could get 6 holes in there.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Because
a lot of the time when it's just me and Kyle too, we put a lot of our stuff in there. Like, I mean, the heater takes up some space, but I'll put like my whole bucket of rods in there. And pretty much all my gear. I mean, I'll leave my sled outside, but
there's a lot
without that gear in there too, well, we can fit another person. Another thing.
Oh yeah.
This is a big one, especially early ice when there's not much snow. Ice spikes. So these will slip right on your boots. Depending, they sell small, medium, large, extra large. I got the extra large. I have big feet, but Kyle's probably got the small.
Yeah.
But these are very, very convenient too, because that early ice is so slippery. How many times did we fall last year? Well, I fell multiple times.
If you've been watching YouTube this past year, there's a video.
Yeah, I fell. We get it. Whatever. I fell, but these give you so much more traction than just your normal boot. And they're just these low rounded spikes. Like I'm pushing hard on it with my finger, it's not sharp. And they're very, very convenient. And I mean,
and they sell a variety of them, like different styles and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, they help a lot.
Yeah. I got a big tackle box that Kyle and I both use. So I got all my hooks and slip bobbers and stuff in this one.
We got all of our stuff.
Right. And then I got my little panfish jigs in one. I got all my walleye jigging wraps and stuff like that in this one, and I got some more walleye gear in the bottom. So these are very full, and that's one thing I probably shouldn't have done, is because it's not like casting out of a boat and fishing because you never lose lures. I mean, ever. Ice fishing. So really, you literally need like 10 different lures if you're a starting ice fisherman because you'll never lose them. You don't get snagged on bottom, not very often. And if you break off on a fish, of course, that's a different deal. But they're not, you don't need them whatsoever, that many. And I have a ton, so it'll probably last me the rest of my life. But and that's another thing you need to invest in is nice gloves that you can ice fish with, because without those, I almost got frostbite last year probably 10 times.
Yeah.
Like it got bad. What else?
A couple more things.
Yeah, you take off.
Two of the biggest things I think, other than obviously the rod and stuff, is one, you need a spud bar, which is
Good call. Safety.
What is that? A spud bar.
Spud bar is just pretty much a big hunk of metal with a point on the bottom.
Yep, and to get for early ice, so you can dig out your holes.
Yeah, drill.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, that spud bars are actually made for safety. Because on early ice too, you're supposed to hit that ice, and if it breaks through really quick, you probably shouldn't go out. So that's another thing I should have brought up, dude. Nice. But I didn't think about safety. That's one thing, and then they make ice picks too that you always should have around your neck. Those are probably $5 or $10.
Yeah, they're cheap too.
Yeah, so
and
I mean,
they're
you need those.
I mean, a lot of times, usually, people wait until ice is really ready, but just
even if it is though, you hit one soft spot, you're going down. And I mean, without those ice picks, if you panic, you can't pull yourself up with your hands.
Yeah.
Especially if the ice is slippery, you gotta have those ice picks. That's another thing.
Yeah. So after the spud bar, a hand auger or a gas auger. A lot of people use hand augers, and I mean, obviously a gas auger would be better, but a lot of people that have them, they don't complain at all. I mean, it's just.
Once ice gets thicker, it just takes way longer.
Yeah, but I mean, those
are $60.
Those aren't super expensive either.
No. I bought mine for $150. That's an Eskimo.
Yeah.
That's a gas auger. Or
but
Strike Master. Sorry.
Yeah, go to Walmart for all this stuff.
Yeah.
Or Ace. I mean, you can get a lot of cheap stuff.
Right.
Okay, the last thing that I want to talk about is a scoop for your ice holes.
I forgot some of the most important stuff.
Okay, so Carson just talked about the not important stuff.
Pretty much.
But
just the stuff I use.
Yep. An ice scoop is helpful for those really cold days. So when you drill your hole or whatever, you have it with you. Yep. So this is an ice scoop. There's a lot of different ones. There's ones that are 4 feet long. There's plastic ones. There's everything.
And a plastic one probably runs only $5 again.
Yeah.
And that's a must-have too, because you're not taking ice out of your hand.
So when it's cold outside, really cold, you want to get all that slush, especially when right after you're done drilling the hole, you want to get all that slush out of there, so you can feed the shiner down to the bottom, or even start jigging without it getting caught up in it. So this is definitely a must-have.
That's a must-have.
So
that's a must-have, and an auger obviously is a must-have, because how are you going to fish without an auger?
So I'd say the biggest things, a scoop, some sort of auger, and I mean, you don't need tippets if you don't want to. If you just want to go jigging, go do that.
But I would invest in $15 for even one tip up, because you want to catch a northern, they're fun.
Yep.
Okay, we'll go over the must-haves right now. Tell me if I missed anything. Must-haves for starting ice fisherman. Need an ice scoop.
Yep.
Need at least a hand auger. I'm gonna say I'd buy one tip up, a cheap one, a polar one. That's only $15.
They don't need to be expensive.
No, you got to have one rod. That's another $20. Get one as cheap as you can get. You need ice picks. I wear them when there's 20 inches ice. I don't care.
I would get them. I mean,
because even if you're driving on and you put your truck through.
Yeah, that's just the safety part of it. I mean,
that's a must-have.
I know you might not think you would fall in even if there's a bunch of ice, but if you do, it's
not gonna be good.
Not fun.
Yeah. So.
That's about
That's
it.
really the must-haves. And then like the heater and the shack and the gas auger, that's all just convenient stuff once you build up enough money to buy them.
But just getting into it.
Yeah.
What is that? $20. Say 10, that's 30.
30.
This is say 20, that's $50.
$50.
And a hand auger, say that's another 50 or something.
Yeah. So you're looking at $100 to $150
Yeah.
for starting ice fishing. And I tell you what, that's not that bad.
That's not bad at all.
No, and I mean that'll get you through a whole season if you take care of your stuff. And then jigs, of course, are
$2.
ice jigs are
or something.
expensive,
Yeah.
but you only need 3 or 4
Yeah.
probably for the whole season.
So yeah.
That's really it. Kyle and I are hoping to get out in a couple weeks at least, at the most.
Hoping to get out in about a week and a half
Yep.
at earliest. We got a local pond out here, and it freezes quick. So
Oh yeah, it's already got ice on it.
yep, and we
It's
only
supposed
need,
to only be like 20 degrees for a high the next like week,
yeah.
so it's gonna be perfect.
So
That night it's gonna freeze.
We're excited. I hope all ice fishermen out there are excited too.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Comment down below if you're already ice fishing. I know up north has already a bunch of ice on it. But yeah, and if you're down south and you come up for ice fishing, comment down below where you go and stuff.
And if anybody that watches our videos wants to ice fish with us or do anything with us,
Yeah, let us
not
know.
that we have a lot of subscribers, but you guys just let us know because like
Yeah.
Josh Dillon, I'm taking you out when you're home from college. Gavin Niprath wants to go with us. I'm sure Kate will go with us.
Yeah,
We got a lot of people that want to go with us, and not that we're pro guides either.
no,
But
but it's
I mean,
fun.
I have the stuff where I can take out a bunch of people. You know,
And it's just fun.
well, it's more fun with more people.
Yeah.
The more people you have, and like I said, comment down below. I don't care who you are. If you want to go, just hit us up and let us know,
Yep.
and we'll take you. So,
Tell us where your favorite spots are to ice fish too.
yep.
We need new spots. Obviously, we're not going to drive long ways, but
Yeah.
we're going to try to find new spots this winter. So,
Yeah, we got a couple in mind,
yep.
so we're ready. But thanks for watching.
Subscribe,
Like,
share this video.
comment. That's about
Yeah.
it. That's all we
Yeah,
need.
hit that like button.
Hit that like button.
Share it with your friends because we enjoy making these videos.
We do.
This video is taking a lot longer than I expected.
Yeah, but I told you it was gonna
yeah.
take longer. But that's
We enjoy making these videos for
Yeah.
you guys, and especially helping you guys with tips and stuff like this. So
and it's good we took a long time to talk about it too because now you guys that want to get into ice fishing know what it's probably gonna cost about. So yeah, that's pretty much
Yep.
all we got for you
hit that
guys.
subscribe button and like it.
Heck yeah, and share the piss out of it.
Yep.
Peace.